Today we'll be talking about the major happenings in the city, the major happenings in our community, and how it affects our lives generally. All right? Since the increment in the fuel pump price in our country, there have been multi-dimensional suffering. You can call it poverty. This is a typical case of suffering, and you can't do anything about it. People are suffering and they don't know what to do. People are dying of hunger. They don't know what to do. You don't have an option but to just buy the fuel, just to survive. The majority of the people are no longer having savings because you have to survive first before you can save. Yes? Are you saving money? All those monies that you have moved to your savings account, have you not brought them back to survive? Tell yourself the truth, because that is the truth. It is a pathetic situation. I don't even know whether to cry or to laugh, because I see suffering walking in all fours. I see patients dying because of lack of money to pay for procedures that will save their lives. I see people dying because they can't afford radiotherapy, because they can't afford chemotherapy to keep them alive, and this to prolong their lives. I see people dying because they can't afford life-saving surgeries. Many patients prefer to go home and die than disgrace themselves in hospitals. Is this the right thing to do? Is this the right way to go? Is this how countries run? No provisions for the elderly, no provisions for the children, no benefits for being a citizen of a country, while the leaders are gallivanting all over the world, going on trips, campaigning for the next elections when they have not even sorted out the promises they made in this dispensation. Is it fair? Is it fair that those whom you have sworn to protect are dying and you can't do anything about it? It's either you're complicit, or you're just turning a blind eyes because of the elections, or you don't want to step on toes because you know the people who are doing this. Because tell me, that part of the country that the government doesn't know, is it even possible? No, it's not. People were traveling from Lagos to Benin and they were kidnapped. The driver shot dead, and that is the end of it. 16 people carted away into the bush. Can you imagine the trauma these people are going to go through? There are women, children amongst them, as the information has alleged. Do you know the trauma that the families of these persons are going to go through? The ransom that these persons are going to demand, where are they going to generate the money to pay them? How many Nigerians have 5 million naira in their bank accounts? So the community is now wrestled with the responsibility of donating money to settle bandits, kidnappers in the bushes, in the Nigerian bushes. It is not in Ghanaian bushes or Benin bushes. And the police, the army, and find these people out. This is a shame in a magnified dimension. It's a pity. We shall weep. We should weep for Nigeria. Nigeria, what happened to you? I remember when we were small, they told us that if you read hard, if you're studious, that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. How many persons who have studied hard would say that there is really light for them at the end of the tunnel, that they are enjoying this entity called Nigeria? How many of them? How many of them? It's a pity that the workforce is suffering while the politicians are enjoying. People go to work year after year without having anything to show for it. Some can't even pay the exorbitant university fees for their children while they're working for the government. So, what is our gain? To which therefore means that criminality is now the order of the day. Criminality now pays more than righteous work. If you're a criminal, you are having a field day. If you're working honestly, suffering is your portion. So if you're not a fraudster, you're not a politician, you're not involved in dubiousness or duplicity of some sort, you have nothing to show for it. You're just eating from hand to mouth. If your child falls sick now, how many persons can pay for the hospital bills to make those deposits to treat the children? Should it be so? Should the government hospitals not take care of children and pregnant women? It's a pity. In a land flowing with milk and honey, in a land flowing with milk and honey, be it the crude oil, be it lithium, californium, cadmium, tin, bauxite, dolomite, mention them. The country is teeming with them, be it uranium, the country is teeming with it. Yet, some persons are extracting these ores, these minerals. Some persons are selling them illegally and making billions, and it's not contributing to the national greed, and we are quiet. How far, Nigeria? When shall this trauma end? When shall this trauma end? Your best brains are sneaking out of the country, leaving the country. Who will bail the cart? Other countries of the world are fishing your best brains, and you're reluctant to do the right thing. You don't pay your professionals well. They are leaving for greener pasture. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's pathetic. Can we not turn in a new leaf? Can we not turn a new leaf for the betterment of the country? Can we not do much more better than this? What does a man who is above 70 years old need? If you're a man who is above 60 years old, what do you need? Most of you barely eat 2 times a day. Because you know that when you eat more than that, you worsen your diabetes. Most of you have hypertension. Most of you are diabetic. What do you need? All of these things that you are acquiring, when are you going to live to enjoy them? You're going to leave it for your children. They are going to squander it, of course, because ill-gotten wealth never succeeds. The greatest gift you can give to a child is proper education and business acumen. You don't give children fish, you teach them how to fish. In America, have you heard the sons and daughters of former presidents or governors being spoon-fed with wealth? Nobody even hears their name because the society is supreme. The society trumps every other thing. Building an egalitarian society is the sole aim of what the government should be encouraging, not loyalists, sycophants who praise your glory when you have done absolutely nothing to merit it. Why are they singing your praises when you know that you have done nothing? They just want the crumbs from your table. Why not you etch your name in gold? Why not you etch your name in gold? So that children will read about your good deeds 50 years from now. They remember you as they have remembered Abraham Lincoln, as they remember great men and women who have etched their names in gold. What do you need these wealths for? You're buying houses in Dubai. You're not going to live there. At most, in the next 30 to 40 years, you will leave this earth. You know that. What does man actually enjoy in this life? Is it food? You eat excess of it, you get sick. Is it alcohol? You drink excess, you have liver disease. You die. Is this excessive enjoyment? You have problems. So why not impact the society? Why not build an egalitarian society where there's free speech, where people can speak up without being killed, where people can demonstrate for the betterment of the community and the country at large and not be tear gassed and killed? Why not build a society where elderly parents, children can access health care without paying through their nose, without having out-of-pocket spending? Why not build a health care that has international appeal, where you can access every kind of care you need? Why not do that? It's not too much to ask. The Nigerian people do not ask for too much, because the Nigerian people are decent people. The Nigerian people are not greedy people. They are simple people. Give them electricity. It's not too much to ask. Good road. It's not too much to ask. Let them have a pipe and water. It's not too much to ask. These things are affordable. But there is no political will to do them. And that is why we need to wake up. You hear me? Nigerians, you have to wake up. Wake up, stand up for your rights. You demand better. You have suffered for so long. Since I was in primary school, they told us that we are leaders of tomorrow. And those names I have heard in primary schools, I still hear them now. When are we really going to be the leaders of tomorrow? When are we going to lead the country? When are we going to be better? When can we say that Nigeria has started to work? Because since I was born, Nigeria has never worked. It has from one suffering to the other, from one suffering to the other. And I know that is the story of many people, except those who have escaped and find a way to better their lives. In Nigeria, each one of us is a local government. You give yourself light, you burn fuel, you run the generator, you supply your family with light, you dig a borehole, you supply a family with water, you feed yourself, you work like an animal. People do 2 jobs, 3 jobs. just to break even, and yet they're not able to break even. Many young doctors, for instance, no longer sleep in their homes. They do 8 to 4, they do 5 to 8 in the morning, they resume duty the next day. They work like animals just to break even because of the plethora of responsibilities that they have. And the government does not regulate anything. It's a pity. And this coming election is a clarion call for all of us to come out and stand for the right thing to be done. Getting your PVC is no longer a news. It's a must. You must have your PVCs. It is your right to have them. You must have them. We must select leaders who are compassionate to the plight of the people. We must have leaders who have the capacity to do the right thing. Altruistic leaders. Leaders who are selfless, who are not coming there for personal aggrandizement to show that they are in power, for personal ego. That is not what we are doing here. We're electing men and women who are here to serve the community, who are here to serve for the interests of the populace, of the next generation, who will build the blocks upon which the country will be built. Those are the leaders we're looking for. We're not electing leaders who are there for stomach infrastructure. We can't do that again. We've done that. We've done that time and time and time again, and it hasn't worked. You know, it hasn't worked. We have voted based on ethnic lines, and they have messed us up. It hasn't worked. We have voted based on religion. It hasn't worked. And I know at this moment that most of you prefer even an alien to lead you, even as much as your lives are better. You can't travel now from one city to the other without being afraid that someone would hijack you on the road, kidnap you, mesmerize your entire existence. You are so afraid in your country of birth, and you do not think that there is a clarion call for you to make a change, to have an introspection of your life, and know that all of these factors are not the real factors. That we need leaders who are willing to do the work. These are the leaders we're looking for. You go to the Middle Belt, the land is flowing with blood of innocent civilians. You go to the different bushes in the south, people are killed. Monarchs are killed. Isn't it pathetic that we are living in a country that we said is ours, and yet we do not have rights? The policemen on the road are there for their personal interests. They are collecting money because, of course, they need to feed their own families too. It's a cycle of corruption. You do not pay well, and you hand them a gun that is expensive, give them a uniform, and call them that they are police officer, they are soldiers, and they're on the road collecting money instead of safeguarding lives and property. Isn't it pathetic? Isn't it pathetic? They have lost all sense of decorum. You can be driving on the road with your children, and your children are in the car, and the policeman will ask you, give us money. What are we teaching the next generation? So you're telling the child in the car that what the policeman does is that the policeman can take a bribe on the road. That is ridiculous. So we need leaders that will make the necessary reforms. Leaders that will reform the police, to make the police attractive. Leaders that will bring in the best brains, that will equip the police, that will train and retrain the police. The curriculum of the police training college must change. There must be decency, civility in the police, so that the people will begin to trust in the police force. Again, that is paramount. The military will have to also change. The training of the military will need to change. It is the truth. The military is so powerful that their duties is sacrosanct for the territorial integrity of the country. The military has no business standing on the Nigerian road. That is not their jurisdiction. Except there is a threat that threatens the national security. So the different facets of our society has been made a mockery of, has been mesmerized. So we need a leader that will bring in normalcy, that will build the foundation that the nation needs to thrive. It is a 100-year project, and it must start with someone. We must restructure the model upon which we bring in leaders into power. The money politics will have to cease to exist, and we need a leader who has the will to do that. You buy a ticket for 50 million for primaries, nomination. How many professors in Nigerian universities can afford a form of 50 million naira? These are the brains in the country, and they can't afford it. A professor that goes with less than 500,000 naira salary, when he works for 35 years, he can't save that money. You don't get it. So we can make the selection process so exorbitant that men with integrity who do not have the requisite fund can't afford it. We must show the motive that we want a better country, and the change must begin from the top, not from the bottom. You must lead by example. It is by leading by example that the people follow. Let us not gaslight ourselves. When they tell you the change begins with you, of course, but the change must begin with the leaders. The leaders must show the political will that they want to do the right thing. Because when they are doing the right thing, you will see the body language of the leaders and you will cue into it. You will have no choice than to cue into it. Everybody wants a country that works for everybody. So, that's a situation. The 2027 election is a very pivotal election. We must come out and must and demand that the right things be done. You go to your polling station, you make sure they do the right thing. We hold them accountable, irrespective of whose ox is God, because our lives depend on it. The lives of our children depend on it. This is no longer a situation where you go and collect money. These things are obsolete. They shouldn't be seen in our society. Because if we get the leadership right, half of our problems is solved. It is the truth. So I remain your friend, Dr. Calculus. Please subscribe to my channel and let's have a fruitful discussion henceforth. Thank you for tuning in. A better Nigeria is possible.